explosive eruption of Mount Kanlaon in Negros this morning that lasted almost an hour. The volcano became restive at 5:51 in the morning. Its eruption generating a massive ash plume and gases at the height of 4,000 meters. Winds carried the plume southwest.
Now, communities around the volcano have been advised to watch out for potential hazards. Monitoring systems of the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOLCS, have detected pyroclastic flows. Now, these are volcanic debris, ash, and hot gas moving closer to the ground from Kanlaon's southern slopes.
Nevertheless, Kanlaon remains on alert level 3. This means heightened unrest with possible eruptions in the coming hours, days, or weeks. PHIVOLCS has described Kanlaon's eruption today as moderate compared to explosions in the past.
Now let's get an update on Kanlaon volcano from PHIVOLCS Director Teresito Bacolcol. Katoto, give us po the latest on Mount Kanlaon, any activities between its eruption earlier today and this evening?
Okay, so after its eruption this morning, nasundan ito na isang ash emission activity that reached as high as 75 meters. It lasted only for 21 minutes. It happened between 1:11 p.m. to 1:32 p.m. But so far, we have not noticed any uptick or increase in our monitored parameters for now.
So you classify, even if the visuals look frightening, this is still considered a moderate eruption.
That's right. It's not as strong as the December 9 eruption and the June 3 eruption. Nakikita natin dito malakas but only at the onset. What makes this different from the previous eruptions is that it lasted almost an hour, while the stronger ones, last December 4, or December 9, it lasted around 4 minutes, and then the June 3 eruption with yung plume height niya reached as high as 5 kilometers, only lasted 6 minutes.
But what can we expect in the coming days and months ahead?
We may expect similar short-lived explosions. Actually, what we saw this morning is a repeat of what we have seen last December 9. So halos pareho yung ash column, umabot ng 4 kilometers. And again, we may expect similar short-lived explosive eruptions in the next coming days.
Okay. We did not see magma, no, or yung parang hot lava coming out of the caldera, Katoto. Pero is that really the case? And can we get a little bit technical, and can you tell us a bit more about what an explosive eruption really is? And kumbaga, nasa ang level ito in terms of the types of eruptions that could disrupt daily life?
Yung explosive eruption is a type of volcanic eruption that is highly violent and powerful. This is produced by the rapid release of gas and pressure from magma beneath the volcano. So may kasamang ash column, gases, and ashes, pati na rin pyroclastic density currents, which we've seen this morning. Walang magmang lumabas, yan talaga ang characteristic ng Kanlaon volcano. So far, based on its historical eruptions, isang beses lamang naglabas ng magma, similar to what we are seeing in Mayon volcano. Isang beses lamang, that was in 1902. So afterwards, yung eruption ng Kanlaon volcano would be more on phreatic eruption and phreatomagmatic eruption.
Having said that, nabanggit nga sa mga reports na pa-southwest yung ihip ng hangin, which areas will be hit or were hit by all these ash flows?
There were reports of ashfall sa may La Castellana. Some barangays in La Castellana nagkaroon ng ashfall. Sa La Carlota City also, and in Bago City. So mostly yung mga cities and areas on the western side and the southwestern side.
Okay. And Katoto, before the eruption today, there were actually 14 volcanic earthquakes recorded yesterday. So is that kind of the data that you look at to predict potential eruptions. And as you mentioned earlier, no, the eruption today was very similar to the one that happened last December. So how does PHIVOLCS analyze these patterns to predict potential eruptions?
Okay, so ang nakikita natin dito, what we saw last December 9, bago ito pumutok, bumaba yung sulfur dioxide. So on December 8, bumaba to 1,699 tons per day of sulfur dioxide. Similar to what we saw yesterday sa Kanlaon Volcano, nasa 1,655 tons per day. And on April 6, mas mababa pa ito, nasa 1,419 tons per day. So this means na may pressure na naiipon sa ilalim dahil hindi makalabas yung volcanic gases. And eventually, because over pressurization, sumabog yung volcan. So we're actually using sulfur dioxide kapag biglang bumagsak yung sulfur dioxide and biglang bumaba yung number of earthquakes. In fact, 2 days ago, 2 volcanic earthquakes lamang yung naitala natin. And wala rin tayo for the past 2 days, wala rin po tayong ash emission activity. So ibig sabihin, nabarahan yung conduit ng vulkan. And isa yan sa mga tinitingnan natin na magiging parameter natin for saying na baka magkaroon ng isang explosive eruption.
And sir, itong short-lived explosive eruptions na you are warning the residents nearby, ano po ba exactly yon? And what are the potential risks of that?
Okay, so again, yung short-lived explosive eruption, again, this is a type of volcanic eruption that is highly violent and powerful. When we say short-lived, it only would last for several minutes. But again, compared to like what we saw last December 9, it only lasted for 4 minutes, and then yung June 3 that which lasted for 6 minutes. Dito, short-lived kasi po several minutes lamang.
And I know may a certain degree of unpredictability when it comes to this, but I also know PHIVOLCS has state-of-the-art equipment, yun nga, to monitor ground shakes and the chemicals inside the volcanoes. Pero kind of loose, I won't hold you to this, no, Katoto, pero how long can we expect this activity to continue? And yung medyo ganitong nasa moderate or medyo malakas yung mga blasts, pyroclastic blasts?
Hindi talaga natin masasabi until when this will continue. Again, it's the volcano that controls its timeline. So again, titingnan natin, we do the analysis on a day-to-day basis based on the monitored parameters that we are looking.
Katoto, what would you advise the population around Kanlaon, especially since the DSWD last night said that the rise in hunger is attributed to somehow the effect of Kanlaon and the populace in Negros?
Okay, as much as we want to lower the alert level from alert level 3 to alert level 2 para naman makabalik yung mga kababayan natin who are already staying for several months in evacuation centers, pero again, based on our scientific data, hindi pa rin po namin ito pwedeng ibaba. So again, advice po namin sa kanila that they have to be maging patient. And again, as we've said, hindi po natin control yung behavior ng Kanlaon volcano.
Okay, since there's no timeline, as you're saying, would you advise na parang permanent na ang relocation? I mean, they can't be putting their lives on hold.
Yes, actually, yun yung iniisip ng mga LGUs. Kasi kami naman, we only recommend, it's actually the LGUs that would put into action yung recommendations namin. So actually, they're also looking for permanent evacuation centers. Isa yan sa mga kinoconsider ng LGUs.
And the distance from the volcano would be the radius po na kailangan, na you would recommend based on scientific data na kailangan na pong lumipat na permanently.
Well, again, dapat walang tao inside the 4-kilometer permit. That's the permanent danger zone. And we expand the danger zone based on the activity of the Kanlaon volcano. And right now, again, we're looking at permanent evacuation centers na wala po sa hazardous areas. Kasi po, hindi naman, even though it's outside the 6-kilometer permanent danger zone, kung pwede namang pwede magkaroon ng lahar. So we have to discount that option.
So, mga
So again,
6 kilometers.
we're helping the LGUs look for permanent evacuation centers.
And we're talking of what size of population po?
Right now, yung nasa evacuation centers are more than 40,000. So again, may kanya-kanyang strategies yung mga LGUs natin on how to manage these 40,000 evacuees.
And just to clarify, itong 40,000 evacuees, sila yung mga, were they inside the permanent danger zone or just right outside of it? Would you know?
Outside the permanent danger zone, sila yung nakatira between 4 to 6 kilometers.
Okay.
And sir, well, Mount Kanlaon is just, one of 2 dozen active volcanoes in the Philippines. So right now, is PHIVOLCS also monitoring any other volcanic activity in other parts of the country?
Yes, we have 2 other volcanoes na may alert level. It's Taal Volcano and Mayon Volcano. So for Taal Volcano, again, for the past 2 days, since April 6, wala tayong record na volcanic earthquake. And right now, Taal Volcano is on alert level 1. For Mayon Volcano, wala rin tayong register na volcanic earthquake for the past 3 days. And same with Taal Volcano, nasa alert level 1 pa rin ang Mayon Volcano. For the rest of, we have 24 active volcanoes. So out of the 24 active volcanoes, 3 ang may alert levels. The rest nasa alert level 0.
All right, marami pong salamat. Thank you for joining the big story. PHIVOLCS Director Teresito Bacolcol.